All right, in this video, we're going to take a look at the Matplotlib library exercise 2. So first one, we're going to the import necessary libraries. Okay, pandas, numpy, and then Matplotlib library pyplot, and then Seaborn. Seaborn is another graphing library. So more that provide more fancy uh, the graphing style. Okay, so and then to with the first, and then once we import the libraries, and then we set the graph to show in the zip notebook. Okay, so Matplotlib library inline, and then we set C1 graph to a better style. Okay, so style it takes. Now we call the data. Okay, online retail.csv. Okay, so here the if you just yeah, see the note. If you receive a UTF-8 decode error, then set encoding as Latin 1. Okay. So now let's take a look at the data. All right. So invoice number, and then stock code, and then descriptions, and the quantity, invoice date, and the unit price, customer ID, and then country. So see. Now, so we'll see. All right. So we see that this data is about the retail information of retail, the items, right? So the quantity and the invoice, and then the country and the prices. All right. So now step 4, create a histogram with the 10 countries that have the most what the quantity ordered except UK. So I think first we have to grouping, right? Group by country first, and then take a sum. All of the quantity in this in each group, right? So let's see. This one. Made mistake. Yeah, so you'll see the histogram. Look at this. The horizontal axis represent the country name, and the vertical axis represent the sum of the quantities of all the retail item, right? Okay, let me do group by. Okay, so see the country is equal to online and the RT dot group by, right? The group by what? Country. And then sum. I think now you're just you are really familiar with this command, the group by and sum can mean whatever. Okay. And then let's see. Countries and head. Okay. So now you see that see. All right. So now the each row represent the sum of all the quantity in the unit price. Okay, and then for each country, right? And then you don't have to take a look at customer ID because this, yeah, we'll take a sum. It's a dot sum. Just take us sum of all the data values in a customer, not only just quantity unit price, but customer ID. Okay, so definitely you don't need that customer ID column. But anyway, so now next one we have to sort, right, the country by the value of quantity, right? So country then is equal to country, then dot sort by values, right? By quantity, and then ascending, so false. All right, so you want to get the what? Descending order, right? Not ascending order. So we want to get the top 10 countries, right? Except for UK. So country dot head. now. But yeah, fortunately, you see that top 10. You see top, for example, just 15. Now you see that well, kind of fortunately, we see that United Kingdom is your top, country. So, but we want to get the top 10 country except for United Kingdoms, right? So, then we're gonna just call the from the second row through the 11th row, right? Okay. So how can I do that? So we just country, okay, country, because the first row means what? The index of first row is 0. So we start from 1 through the what? Through the 11. Okay. So country that head. See something wrong, right? There's a typo. What? Yeah, you don't have to put head. Just see. Okay. Now see from the Germany to the Belgium, right? Okay. Now let's see. Now I think we're ready to plot the graph histogram. So we're gonna create the plot. Okay. So countries and the quantity. Quantity. We're gonna plot the quantity. So plot kind is there's gonna be bar means histogram. And then color is equal to, look at this, a country in the when you plot plot the graph, what we need to uh the order the pair, right? I mean x coordinate, y coordinate for the two-dimensional graph, right? So country, the quantity, that's it's gonna be the what uh the the second coordinate. So what about the then first coordinate? And you see plot, oops, it's a plot, not plot, the plot, a kind of bar here, then the vertical, I mean horizontal, the axis, uh the for the horizontal axis, the index will be set as what horizontal axis. Okay. So now the color is, yeah, so it's the first one I think blue, right? And then the next one is let me see, green. Yeah, you don't have to exactly match with the color. So let's say R, okay, and means red, and then green, and then B means blue, okay, and then C means cyan, and then Y means yellow. Okay, so now, and then we're gonna do set the title, right, and then label. So plt x label, um, x label the country, right? Plt the y label, the quantity, and the plt title, 10 what country with most orders. Okay. And we're gonna show the plot. I mean, what the draw the plot. Okay, so plt is show. You see that? So let's see. Wait a second. Um, Give me a second. Yeah, so I got the right graph. Sorry, I had a yeah, I just see, you can see that right when I implement this cell, I just run twice. So that means I delete the United, I mean, right there, I just run this cell twice. So it the top two two country was deleted. So I got the wrong answer, and then yeah, so I just rerun. Okay, so I can rerun. So when you guys kind of messed up, okay, so run this cell and then run this cell again, or just messed up, then you go to the kernel, okay, and then click restart or restart the run, or okay. So now then the next one, step 5. So I mean, so look at this, the Netherlands and then the EIRE. So and then Germany, France, and then Australia, Sweden, Switzerland, Spain, Japan, and Belgium. So see, but I think what Netherlands is really there's a big gap between Netherlands and other European country, right? Okay. So now step 5, exclude the negative quantity entries. Um okay, so it's not a big deal. It's just it's starting from online, you know, the that's the data frame file or data frame, right? Variable online, and then line open bracket, okay, because we're gonna do this one. Quantity is greater than 0, okay. Then the it means that what all yeah, this the Python gonna find the all of row, okay, detect all of row, detect the all of row whose the value in quantity is negative, and then they're gonna drop those row out of the data frame, okay. That's what that means. Okay, online in the head. So now next one, step 6, create a scatter plot with a quantity per unit price by customer ID for the top 3 country. Okay, so mm, let's see, scatter plot with a quantity per unit price. Okay, so first one, what we're gonna do? Definitely we need to group by customer ID. Okay, okay. You see that quantity per unit price by customer ID. So we're gonna need to grouping, okay, grouping divide the customer ID and then by country too, okay. Why? Because look at the answer solution right here. 3 scatter plot. What we got 3 for each scatter plot we got the different countries, right? Germany, Netherlands, and then EIRE, right? So now let's see. What are you gonna do? We do this. Is this customer? Let me do this one. Equal to online RT dot group by. Okay. Now we put the 2 column label, customer ID in the country, and some customers. Give me a second. Okay. Let me see this one typo, right? So give me a second. Okay. 2 columns. Okay. So we got 2 multiple index, right? So for each customer ID, okay, then the country, right? So now next one. Well, okay, second. Mm, but yeah, it doesn't make it barely happened, but sometimes we may get you know the missing value or misinformation in the data the data. For example, what if we got the negative value in the unit price? Then we have to drop that the data. Okay, so but yeah, so when you deal with the raw data, then maybe you're gonna have that kind of misinformation value, data value. But yeah, so for just in case, let me uh, detect the those row and then drop it. Okay, so see, okay, so now fortunately, yes, there is no such a data having the negative value in unit price. Okay, so all unit price are positive, so that's good. And now then we do this customers and then country that is equal to, and then customers, okay, index, and then get label value. Okay. Let's see customers and then hat. So let's see. Okay. Put this. Okay, so now we create a new column in our customers data frame. You see, customer is a country. Look at this customer. That data frame. What doesn't have the column whose label is a country. You may say that here, but the country now is belong to what an index in one of the index in multiple index, right? Okay, so the index we don't count index as the columns. Okay, so we're gonna create the new column whose label is country. Okay, so country is just what the customer's index get label value. So what does it mean? In the get data frame customers, they go they go to the index, okay, and they get label value. So it means they get the index value, the value along the. But see here, how many index here? One, two. It's a multiple index, right? Okay. So we need to designate level 0, level 1. Okay. So level 1. Okay. We get the index value, the values in the index. But which index? In a multiple index. Is they are called the level. Okay. Level 0, level 1, 2. Okay. So now next one. Okay, we got it. So why do we need this? Because yeah, definitely we need the column whose data value is a country, because you see that in the scatter plot. What for each country, right? We need to plot the scatter plot. So now next one. Okay, so now we're gonna plot the graph. Okay, so oh no, I'm sorry. We need to figure out what the ID for the top 3 country. Yeah, we need to find out top 3 country. So we do this. So top country. Okay, excuse me. Country is equal to first one. The what was this? Top 3 country. The back to we already got this top 3 country. Netherlands, EIRE, and Germany, right? Okay. So that is going to be Netherlands, and then EIRE, and then Germany. Okay, and then filter data frame to just select in the top country. So customers is equal to customers. Um, out online. Okay, first one. We store the data frame online RT, okay, into the customers. The customers is equal to customers, okay, and the customers country, okay, that is in. We use this one is in, okay, then top country because we're gonna find out the row whose value in the column label country is equal to, okay, equal to the one of the value in the top countries. Okay, that's the command is in top country. Okay, see customers. Okay, so we got it. Okay, so now then, let's see. Okay, so now you can see that what does that mean? This data. So all of data, their country, the value in the column countries, the among Netherlands, Germany, or EIRE. Okay, you see. So now we are ready to plot the scatter plot. Okay, so first one we create the face grid. The face grid is the in scatter plot. You see that horizontal axis and the vertical axis? These are called the face grid. Okay, so G is equal to, you're gonna use the command is cbone. Okay, so face grid, and then customers. Okay, and then the column must be country. All right, so now let me see. Just oh, give me a second. Just run. Okay, just run this cell. What happened? You see that you got three, you know, three, the kind of XY plane. Okay, so now then map over make a scatter plot. So G dot map, then PLT scatter, and the quantity unit price. Then alpha. You see that? Okay. So now let's see. What about alpha? Change the alpha. Okay, to oh, give me a second. So alpha, the value, that's the option to make the graph transparency. Okay, so if you just change alpha to 0.5, then you'll see that the some dots is more transparent, right? Okay, so for example, if it's 0.2, then we see the more transparent like this. Okay, so but then it means that what? For example, a country in the Netherlands, most of quantity is between 0 and maybe 500. Okay, for Germany, 0 to 250. Okay, and then EIR is similar to the quantity in Netherlands, right? So okay. So now let's move to the step 7. Okay, investigate why the previous result looks so uninformative. I mean, so we'll see. Okay. Mm, now, see. Okay. So now here, this section might seem. I mean, here. Okay. Yeah, we don't do section 8. Okay. So let me delete it. Okay. So I'm not gonna give this price. Okay. So let's see. First of all, let's see 7.1. Look at the first line of code in step 6 and try to figure out if it lead to any kind of problems. So what does that mean? Let's see. Yeah, so I think when you look at the process, how we got this kind of plot, then you may just wonder that why do we need this? Where is one? Yeah, why do we need to group by customer ID countries? Right? Because when you look at this, you see that when you plot the graph, we completely change the data value in the customer by data value in online RT, right? So why do we need this? Okay, so this okay takes let's see takes our initial data frame groups a primarily by customer ID, and secondly by country. And that is all the I mean non um indexer indexer non-indexer columns that have numerical values under each groups. Yes. So we do this. This is what we did, right? So customer is equal to online LT dot group by, and then what we did is customer ID, and then country, then some head. See that? Okay. Oh, now you get this. Okay. Now let's think of step 7.1.2. So think about what the piece of code does and display the data type of unit price. Okay. So we say customer unit price and then data type. This is float, right? Customer ID data float is float 64. Yeah, but uh, all right. But why did we some unit price to begin with? What do you think about this? So here's a problem. So back to the graph right there, quantity and unit price. So these three columns of scatter plot are not informative. So it means that the think about this. the um, when you do this, back to here, this one, price. Yeah, so just the customer is equal to, and then you need online RT that group by. So we use group by and the take a sum. So when you do while we do this, so we grouping customer ID and country, and then we take a sum of not only quantity but unit price. But it doesn't make sense to take a sum of all the unit price, because unit price represents the what? Just price per item, right? So now the what? So let me see right there. See. Okay. So now we got the sum of the quantity. For example, Iceland customizing 1 2 3 4 7, and then quantity is 2458 in the unit price. So all 2458. So since we group by country, and I mean definitely customizing in country, so the quantity doesn't represent the sum all the quantity of just same item, right? So that the sum of them and this quantity maybe represent the sum of the sum of the multiple items, right? So it means that their unit price are different. So now back to here, that's the problem. So right here, okay, 7.1.3 now. So the um let's see. Let's see example. Okay, so what's the problems that I mentioned there? Okay, so now let me do this. Display online. Okay, excuse me. All right, LT and now online RT dot customer ID that is equal to 1 2 3 4 7.0. Okay, that and the result values by unit price. Okay, sending the dot head, then display online, and then online customer ID 1 2 3 4 6.0. Okay, that values by unit price, sending false. That, so we'll see. Then you got this one. So what does that mean? So the customer 1 2 3 4 6.0 placed the one giant order, whereas 1 2 3 4 7.0 placed a lot of smaller orders, right? Okay, right. Then now see. So we identify, but we yeah we definitely we have identified the one potential reason why our plots look so weird, in the graph. I mean, even though the graph doesn't what distinguish get those two different information. So this is a lot of just big quantity, right? But unit price is really small. But here, the small quantities right there, but unit price is large. Okay, so the summing the unit price is really highly misleading, and also the scatter plot what we plot um, doesn't distinguish this one, or maybe lead to the wrong information. Okay, so I think we have to figure out the not just sum of the unit price, but we have to figure out this what so total price. So that's the problem. So okay, so it's a step 7.2, reinterpreting the initial problems to re iterate the question that we were dealing with, create a scalar plot with a quantity per unit price by customer ID for the top three countries. Yeah, this one we I figure out. But see, top three country with respect to what? So two answers suggest themselves, right? Total sales volume, I mean total quantity sold, or total sales is revenue. So let's figure out both. Okay, first one, total quantity. Okay, find out the top three country in terms of sales volume. So now let's see sales volume. Okay, sales volume is equal to online LT dot group by therefore we do group by country and then quantity sum. Okay, and then sort values and then ascending. So now we see top three sales volume. Okay, the index 1 through 4. It means that top three, right? I mean, definitely we're gonna exclude the UK. So not 0 through 3, but 1 through 3. Okay, so this is top three. Let's see. Okay, let's see. There was some typo. Let's see. Yeah, I'll take group by. Then see country. Yes. And then give me a second. Let's find out typo. Yeah, I found it here. I just wrote down INDX. It should be INDEX. Okay. So now, mm, got this one. Okay. Now we're gonna do Netherlands EIRE in the Germany. Right. So now 7.2.2 step. Okay. Now that we have the top three country, we can focus on the rest of the problems. Okay. Quantity per unit price by customer ID. We need to unpack that. Okay. By customer ID part is easy. Okay. That means we're going to plotting one dot per customer ID on one hour plot. In other words, we are going to be grouping by customer ID. Okay, so quantity per unit price is trickier. Here's what we know. One axis will represent the quantity assigned to a given customer. This is easy, okay? But we can just plot the total quantity for each customer ID, but the other axis, that's a problem, will represent not unit price. It should be what the total the it should be what the what's this? Not unit price, but should be the average. Okay, so instead of the unit price, we should average amount each paid, each has paid per item. Okay, so add a column to online article revenue, calculate the revenue. So this can be what online Alt, and then we're gonna create new column in our online IT data frame. Is equal to online IT dot quantity, okay, times online IT dot unit price. Okay, let me see. So we got the revenue right here, right? Revenue. So now 7.3.2, group by customer ID and country and find out the average price. Yeah. What gonna do? So first one we're gonna group line T, excuse me, online RT dot country is in. We're gonna use in. Okay, and use top three and group by. Then customer ID and then country. Excuse me. Country and then a table equal to grouped and quantity revenue. Then we could aggregate. And then so all right, so we got what? See, give me a second. Now let's see. From here, plottable group the quantity and revenue, that aggregation and sum, so that we're gonna get the sum of the quantity revenue for each the row organized by customer ID and the country. Okay, but you see the problem right here, in the, I mean, so the output there is a country column right there, right? So we need to create the column column whose label is country. Okay, so what we did that, right? So this is going to be plotly and then plot table country, sorry, is equal to plot table and the index, because you see the multiple index, there is a country right there, right? So we're gonna copy this one into the new column whose label is country. Okay, so index dot get oops, label level and the values and then one, right? And then go and have. So see, there is some kind of index typo. Let's figure out that. Mm, yeah, it's typo revenue, right? So all right, so we got it. So revenue right there. Okay. Now and then let me see. Yeah, so I was make a mistake. Let me rerun. Okay. So give me a second. I'm gonna reset and rerun. Yeah, I just figured out that I skipped that command. Okay, I missed this command. So we just yeah, we what we're gonna do? I'm gonna plot the scatter plot of the quantity for I mean the average price versus the quantity. So I missed that because as a create this command uh give us the new column whose label is average price. Okay, so how can you get the average price? It's total number of the price divided by total number of quantity, right? So that's what we're gonna do. What we do in here. Okay. So now next one. So the yeah we do now we're gonna plot. Okay. So oops, plot. Now we say G that base grid and then plottable. Then column must be country. And then g dot map and then plt and then scatter and then quantity. Okay. And then average price. Okay. Then alpha equals 1. Maybe 0.5. And then sometimes, yeah, you may need this lesson. But I don't think we need this, but okay. So yeah, we don't need this. We're gonna get same, yeah, so that's fine. We see the quantity average price, but still, most of the data points is uh one just in one just spot, right? So it's really hard to read the graph. Okay, so it seems that 50,000 and 100,000, 150, 200,000. These there is no also a data frame in here in that quantity. Okay, so it's still not good. So you see that we aren't much better off than what we started with. The data are still extremely scattered around that don't seem quite informative. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, uh, so here we should plot the data regardless of country and hopefully see a less scattered graph. So not just top 3 country, but all the country. Okay, so we says this group is online rt dot group by, okay, and then customer, okay, then plottable is equal to grouped quantity the revenue, okay, and then aggregation, okay, and then plottable, and then we create new column, okay, revenue divided by plottable quantity, okay, and then we plot together, and then plottable and the quantity, plottable, and average price, okay, and then plt tab. So I got a typo. Give me a second. It should be revenue plot the quantity. Yes. Okay. All right. So yeah. So PLT. Right? Yeah. So we got this, but till we graph is really skewed, right, to the right, right. So the graph looks like the exponential function, right, like this. Okay. So now we just zoom in so we can see that curve more clearly. Okay, so how can I do that? So first one, group A is equal to line RT dot group I. Oops. ID, okay, country, plottable is equal to grouped aggregation. That's the other way to the aggregate. Okay, quantity on the revenue. Then double average price to double that revenue. Hmm, something wrong. It should be okay. And the PLT. Now we plot price. Okay. Now we do to zoom in, we limit x value and y value. Okay. Limit -40 to 2000. The y limit -1 to 80. And the PLT dot plot. Okay. Now uh now we see that. Okay. Now you can see that here. I mean, the horizontal axis represent what? This is the quantity, and the vertical axis represent the average price. As you can see that the what what the quantities increase, average price is decrease. You can see that, but not exactly, but you can see kind of that kind of insight, right? So now we're gonna plot it like this. We're gonna figure out the revenue and the unit price. What that means, we're gonna figure out that you see here. Well, it would be interesting to know whether most of our revenue comes from expensive or inexpensive item. Okay, so now let's see that. Mm, now, let me see. What are you going to do? So group unit price by interval of 1 for prices 0 to 50. Okay. So, and some quantity and revenue. Let's do this. Um, so we just start from this. I mean, um, okay. Price. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna set the price start gonna be 0. Then price end is gonna be 50, and then price interval 1. Okay. So, mm, right. So now we're gonna create the buckets to collect the data accordingly. Okay. So let's see. MP dot arrange the price start, because we want to make the list. Okay. Numbers starting from 0 to 50 with the step 1. Okay. The price start to price end, and then price interval. And then we select the data and sum. So price is equal to online ot dot group by, and then pd dot cut, and then online t dot unit price, and then bucket. So pd cut, let's see. we're gonna cut the what the col the online RT, and by looking at the column data view in the column unit price out of the that bucket, the orange. Okay, so now and then that revenue, and now per price that we see that. Okay, okay, now you see the 0 through the 1. All right, okay, so revenue, some revenue is what from belong to 0 to 1 is what, this much. Okay, I mean, okay, and then 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. See that here, right here. Okay, okay, so this is, these are 1.1, there's a e to the that means 10 to the 6 power, right? This is total I mean sum of the revenue, total sum of total the amount of the revenue of all the items whose unit price is between 0 to 1. Okay, including open 0 and then closing number 1. Okay, and then last one, 1.219377 times 10 to the 6. This is the total amount of revenue of the all of items, sum of items. Okay, whose unit price belong to 4 to 5. Okay, so I think now we can plot it. Okay, so now we'll plot. Okay, revenue per price dot plot. Okay, and then PLT X label, gonna be unit price, right? Unit price in universe of, now you see what in the of we put the space. Okay, and then in number of what, 1 2 3 4 is different, right? So in that case we need gonna we put this one str. Okay, string and then price in number. Okay, I know price in number is the data type of price in number is a real number, right? Then that str, that command will convert the data type to the string. Okay, so that's, so here that we can change the price start and the in number, then we're gonna get the different X label. Okay, let's see. Then that's it. So now PLT and the Y label, it's gonna be revenue. PLT show PLT. Now you see the unit price and revenue. So unit price is the as unit price increase, revenue is the exponential decrease, right? So that means that we're gonna in here in this data we can see that we're gonna get huge revenue for the inexpensive unit price, the item whose unit price is inexpensive. Okay, you can see that for the expensive price, the item we got sharp you know the sharply less the revenue. Okay, so make it look nicer. Yeah, this kind of option. Okay, so we do this PLT, I mean the revenue per price PL plot, and then we place label, the X label. Okay, so unit price in buckets of plus string and then price number. Okay, price number and then plus this one and then KLT Y label and then revenue. Now then, yeah, even though the data is a bucket in inner block one, I'm gonna plot thick a little bit further apart from each other to avoid, cluttering. So you see the answer right here, output. So I want to put the six, okay, vertical horizontal axis, vertical axis, okay. So we're going to do that. PLT and the X ticks, okay, MP orange price start to price end. Three. It means that three steps. Okay. And then MP orange and then X ticks and the MP. Now let's see. Orange. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll see. Give me a second. I don't need. Give me a second. So here, now we're gonna see. That's give us this one. MP orange price start price end the three. Yeah, so that will get the what can I say, the tick, okay. But we need to display the numbers for each tick, right? Then we do this. We need that one. That will give us 0369 actual number display. Okay, okay, like this. Now in the PLT and the Y tick, okay, MP range. Um, Not MP. We don't need this. We're gonna do manually, right? So 0, 500,000, and then 1 million, and then 1.5 million, 2 million, and 2.5 million. So now the CD0, 1 million, 0.5 million, right? Then 1 million, and then 1.5 million, and then 2 million, and then 2.5 million. Oops. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, let's see, plot, right? Okay. So now I got this 2.5 million. So yeah, it's more fancy, right? Okay. So yeah, I covered the Matplotlib library exercise too. Okay, it's quite long, right? But this is really practical, uh, the problems. So please practice this one. Okay. So let me stop here. Okay, next time I'm gonna cover the Matplotlib library exercise 3. Okay.